All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about how to get more energy in this game. This is actually one of the bigger questions that I've gotten more frequently. And as you guys know, energy is tied to a lot of things such as life skilling, and in general, energy is just useful for a lot of things that it could turn into silver. But also, even for you non-life skillers, you can use energy to invest into nodes and get higher drop rates. So overall, I think it's a good thing to actually invest in. And before we talk about it, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the new follows, subscribers, and members on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And I'm glad that you guys enjoy my videos enough and find it helpful, educational, and everything. So yeah, that's the goal going forward. That's always been the goal in this channel, to just help people get better at the game and stuff. So with that said, let's talk about energy in video. So how do I do this? One thing I wanted to talk about was like how to get energy, what I think you should do to get it, and what are like the more easy things and everything. So obviously energy is tied to mostly getting knowledge and just overall playing the game, grinding, doing everything in the game essentially. So higher is better. And one thing you guys can do just before we start the whole knowledge topic, you guys can also get crystals down here. There are very cheap ones actually. Magic Crystals of Infinity, the energy one, gives you 10. You can slot 2 of them, and so that's plus 20. And one tip that I can give all of you guys is if you have a main and you don't play like your other characters, if you put the crystals on your other characters, that energy cap will be plus 20. So even if you don't play it, the total is plus 20. Is it a lot? No, but I mean, better than not having it. So with that said, all right, so if you hit your, I guess on PC it's H. I don't know what the equivalent of this on console is, but yeah, energy, knowledge, ecology, they all kind of go together in some way or not. So I think this is something worth doing. After a certain point, it does get actually pretty tedious to go out of your way, and I think this is something worth doing early on as well, because if you're starting this at late game, let's say you're, I don't know, 300 AP and you're just like grinding low end areas, it's one of those things where it just kind of feels tedious and you're like, oh, I could be doing anything else and making silver. And so I think, yeah, as a new player, it is good to explore and actually play the game normally. So characters, for the most part, what you do, you see how there's a +2 energy. It's whenever you complete the log over here of just like, you know, talking to all the people, you can get max energy. So just by playing the game normally, and not everything gives energy. Everything does give like knowledge and ecology though. So it's always important to like talk to the characters when you go to a new town. You see the little exclamation point above their head and stuff. Just make sure to do that. And for the most part, just do everything that you see that will give you knowledge. And the easiest one to do is literally just talking to the NPCs. You don't even have to read the dialogue, just spam R if you want to. But I mean, like, just make sure to get all the energy and do the things that are important. Some are kind of tedious and out of the way, and there are guides for that one. But if I were to do anything, number one, just talk to people. You get more knowledge. Topography is basically exploring the area, and you know, it tells you like if you unlock all the nodes and everything, and just like discovering the map just by playing naturally, you're probably going to get a lot of this. And there are a few, these are the newer regions for me. I tried to get the energy part of it, not necessarily finish it, even though I should. I'm just kind of lazy and probably should do it. So like, it's just all of these things, and some of them give energy, some of them don't. So you have to kind of make sure to see what is important. But the main areas, the main regions that aren't like the newest ones, just make sure to like explore everything and you get more energy. going out into the ocean, this one does require a little bit of extra effort, simply because, you know, you kind of have to have a boat. The further into the ocean you go, it's a little bit more dangerous, and by that I mean not really, but I mean you should probably have a boat that can actually do something, not just a random sailboat. So yeah, I guess I could show you mine. Mine is not fully complete. I know exactly what I'm missing. It's stuff over here and probably stuff around here-ish. So either way, there's a lot of websites that show full maps that are completed. For the most part, if I could give you any tips for what I've done, is if you go to like Achilles Eye, and you could just well there and then park your boat over there. And I know a lot of people who just keep their boats at Achilles Eye and just go to Vel every week. But other things that are worth getting and keeping your boat at is Ilia Island, and then just go exploring up. And if you do sailing dailies every day, here's what you would do. Achilles Eye, you pick up all your dailies, right? And then you know how you have to kill the sea monsters and everything? The route that I did was basically start over here and then, you know, roughly go around here and do like a counterclockwise loop, and then go down here and then get everything and then come back. It's kind of like a counterclockwise circle, and that's how you do it. I have some videos if you want to watch it. It'll make more sense. But overall, over the years, they've made sailing a lot easier. There used to be wind currents and sea currents, and it's not as bad as it was before. And some of my older videos explained wind routes and like high seas kind of thing. But I think the ocean is more tame now in 2025. So like back in the day, it was like not harder, but like it took longer to get from point A to point B if you didn't know directions of wind and everything. So nowadays, I think you can just go from point A to B without too much trouble. So something to look into eventually. Go explore the ocean. It is a lot of energy, so it's one of those things you kind of have to take time out of your day doing something else for. Ecology. This is the big one that, you know, ecology is the grind that you've heard of. And when you get more ecology, your item drop rate goes up. And the ultimate goal is 10,000, but I truly believe after like, I would say around 6,000-7,000 ish is when you kind of have to go out of your way. And maybe if you skip some grind spots back in the day, you kind of have to go back, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to make like 200 mil an hour when I could be making billion an hour. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things you have to dedicate time to. And if you're a new player, start it early. But like, just make sure to look at all of these. There are a lot of good websites out there that show you how to get the energy, have screenshots. It's still a little bit tedious that you have to do it, but nowadays, like, even if it's not blue, just make sure you get all the energy from all the regions. And yeah, so most of them for me are done. There's still a bunch I'm missing, bosses as well, and all the other ecology for every other region. So this is one of the things that's probably the most time intense, and you're going to have to be spending a lot of time on it, but this is where a majority of your energy comes from. So just doing all of these is like a lot of it. Adventure logs, I've always said, are important. Everyone will tell you that adventure logs are important simply because if you look over here, this is everything. It gives you permanent stats to your account, and like AP and DP, that's just straight up sheet stats, always good. And so it's worth doing. It's kind of a long, tedious thing. I didn't really enjoy doing it, but it's one of those things that you should do eventually. So start off with the Igor Bartali one, get all your stats over here, and then just do like everything else during your own time. Okay, so next, academics. This one is a lot of things, and what that is like, you know, reading bookshelves and stuff, and, you know, interacting with objects in houses, kind of going out of your way to explore and talking to NPCs doing their quests. And just in general, it's like in another game, the best way to put it is just doing side quests and everything, and also like reading the lore and discovering things. Like, for example, if you were to, you know, explore Heidel and then you go to a random house, look inside the house, maybe there's some interactables. That's what it is essentially. So yeah, doing that and a lot of quests, and a lot of these are also grinding as well. So Amity games, I guess let me show you an example. If you do Amity, you have a number over here. This one you can exchange, or, you know, used to be able to do all of this stuff with it. And so yeah, sometimes NPCs, if you just talk to them, do the Amity game, it's kind of stupid actually. I never want to do it again, but it's something you kind of have to do. And so yeah, that's a lot of academics and knowledge of stuff. Life skills, I don't think actually give energy. It's more towards your like total knowledge points and stuff. So it's one of those things that you just kind of learn and get over time. For example, if you're learning to cook, you learn more recipes, you get more knowledge. It's just good to have. And then learning the ropes of Black Desert, literally just by playing the game, and trade skills and all that stuff. So I would say the best thing to do if you're trying to boost your energy is start with characters. Just that one's probably the easiest thing. Topography is uncovering more of the map, and obviously ecology is literally grinding all the spots and getting like whatever knowledge for all grind spots and everything. So yeah, there's stuff I still have to do, but like some of these are kind of like so out of the way that I'm just like, I don't actually care. But to give you I guess a number, obviously more energy is better, but what you should do is try to get them in numbers of 50, because if you turn them into like, you know, energy potions, they go by 50s. But also if you do what is it, just like other quests, sometimes they're like, here, unlock this knowledge, costs 10 energy or something. So you kind of want to get them on even numbers, more or less. Obviously it just takes time, but I would say I guess obviously there's no right or wrong answer to this one, but I would say around like 500 is where it's not too bad. You can get that relatively easily, and then the push from like 500 to 600 is where it gets moderately tedious. And then I think the cap is close to 7 something, I believe, 700 energy, or maybe a little bit more. I don't really keep track, but that's the cap with a lot of stuff. And I honestly think as long as your energy is not full all the time, make sure you're using your energy on something, whatever it is, investing in nodes, gathering, doing various life skills and stuff. Just make sure to just not keep your energy full and do something with it, because energy equals silver in one way or the other. So with that said, yeah, energy is important in the game, and biggest tip to you guys is just play the game naturally, and you'll get like roughly around 500 doing every story zone and everything. Sometimes if you go out of your way to grind other spots, then you'll get more, and some are just kind of like tedious things that you really have to go out of your way for. But overall, that's how you do it: playing the game naturally, talking to the NPCs, doing questing, exploring, and just make sure to look at all of this stuff. And there are websites that basically show you, like, if you're missing certain ecology, make sure to just Google it, and then it really does help. So yeah, with that said, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.